Okay. So I hope you can see the screen, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Great. So in the last four classes, we completed four units that was based on task one. From today onwards, we will be working on task two. So in task one, the things that we need to write about are quite short, within 150 words, that include describing different types of diagrams, right? That could be charts, that could be graphs, that could be a series of steps or a process, and it could also be what a map, right? So a map of anything, a map of a place, a country, a city, a park, or even a bus station or a railway station, so, or a mall. Any type of maps can be given to you for describing. Okay, so that is for task one. And these descriptions are quite short and easy to be stated because we just have to write down what we are looking at and what we can see instead of adding any of our opinions or analyzing it. We don't have to do all that in the first task. But for the second task, here comes the part where we have to analyze, we have to think, we have to then write, including our opinions in the essay that we will be writing. And for task two, the essays are a bit longer. They have to be written in 250 words. So that's the difference between the first task and the second task in the writing test. So what we have to do is there are many types of essays, right? We have narrative essay, we have argumentative essay, we have essays that show advantages and disadvantages only, and then there are many more actually types of essays that might come, and there are actually existing, and we can write those. So most of these types of essays are needed for practicing because it comes from any of those. You don't know which one you should be prepared for. So for today, we will start with learning an essay that in which you have to write about the advantages and disadvantages of a certain topic that will be given to you. Okay, so what we will learn, and this whole unit is based on business and work. The name of this unit is business and work. So whatever topic you will be getting will be regarding business and work. So what we will be learning in this unit is that we will learn how to analyze the disadvantages and advantages easy essay task. So the task that you will be given, that means the topic that you will be given, how we can analyze the advantages and disadvantages of that topic and how we can bring it up into an essay. That is the first thing that we will be saying, learning actually. And then we will learn how to plan our ideas and organize them into paragraphs. So when we are writing essays, it is very normal for us to just look at the topic and get confused because at that moment we have a lot going on in our heads, right? There are there is just a rush of ideas coming in our brains. So we don't know which ideas to choose and how to write them, where to begin with. So a lot goes on. So that is what we will learn here, how we can plan our ideas and how we can organize them before writing it into the essay. Lastly, we will learn how to use linkers to make our essays easy to be read. Right, so linkers, what are linkers? Do you know what are linkers?
Um, yes, I know them. Like, therefore, also like these words, right?
Right, very good. Yes, excellent. So, remember in the last unit, in unit four, we learned cohesive devices, right?
Yes.
The words that were under those devices, the words that were used in order to have cohesion in our essay, those words are actually called linkers. Those words and more. So
Oh,
these words, if we use these words, it seems that all the lines are connected one after the other. There is a very nice link to everything that we're saying, and it makes it easier for the examiner to read and understand. So that is why these words are called linkers, because these link one line with the other. Okay, so let's start. Let's look into our first part, first activity of this unit, where we can see there's a picture where people are working in a country as in not the country, not the whole country that we are living in or anything. In the Western culture, the village part is called country or countryside.
Yes.
So they are talking with this, they are talking about the countryside, that is the village side. So you can see many people are working in their village. Maybe they're working in their farms, right? They're cultivating something. It seems like they're picking up flowers, maybe, or fruits, not clear enough. And then we can see people working in cities. So this was working in the country, and this was working in the city. In the city, they are very busy going to work and then coming to the office and working on the laptops and everything. So it's quite busy here. So what we have to do is we have to look at the photos here and we have to discuss the questions that are given below. So we have two questions given. We have to discuss these and we need to talk about what we are seeing on the picture. So for that, there is also a tip here. Remember to present both sides of the argument and also give your opinion in writing part two. So see, whenever you are writing in the second part, especially for the advantage and disadvantage essay, here you have to give both sides of the argument. That means you have to show the advantages as well as the disadvantages, and you also have to give your own opinion here. For task one, it was prohibited. It was completely a no-go zone for your opinions, right? But it
Yeah.
is opposite for task two. Here, your opinion is necessary. You have to give an opinion for whatever you are saying or whatever you're seeing or whatever you know about the topic. Okay, so now that we saw the photos that are given here, let's look at question number one. What are the advantages and disadvantages of working in the city and working in the country? Number two, where would you prefer to work and why? So if you need time, you can prepare for one answer and then you can answer these questions for me.
Okay.
Then,
Yes, miss.
okay, go on with number one. What are the advantages and disadvantages of working in the city and working in the country?
Generally, working in a city offers a wider range of advantages like job opportunities. Then there is better access to needs such as healthcare facilities, shops, then restaurants, etc. People get good access to public transportation like buses, trains, trams, etc. Even if you don't own your personal car, then
Well,
there is
these are the points that can be included if we are saying if we're talking about living in a city, okay? Because we're talking about working in a city, you include points that are necessary or it is related with the work, okay?
okay.
So job related things, work related things. For example, one of the advantage could be that working in a city has higher pay than working in the country or in the countryside. Or you could say, like you said, we have a lot of opportunities in the city. So yes, working in the city provides us with lots of opportunities. That could be work opportunities, that could be transport opportunities. So that's also correct. And then another thing could be that in the city, working is not monotonous. It is exciting rather than in the village. So in that way, you can, find out the advantages and disadvantages.
Okay. So can I tell it from the beginning again?
Yes, sure, dear.
Okay. Um, Generally, working in a city offers a wider range of advantages, such as job opportunities. Then there is better high paid jobs that you can um, get by working. Then
Working
there
here.
is
Yes, very good.
then there you can get better access to network and you can do many jobs related to network from home. Then there is high levels of competition, so
Very
you can get wider range of experiences and you can have a lot of um,
You can learn
experience.
a lot of new things.
Yes, you can have new skills in
Right.
yourself.
Very good.
And for that disadvantages,
Mhm.
there is a lot of competition for jobs, so it
Right.
can lead to increased stress for people.
Very
There is
good.
a lot of pollution and noise, so
Mhm.
it can also cause stress and not
Health issues.
discomfort to people. Yes. Then there is high cost of living, and that's why it can be tough to do small jobs and you are always stressed about work.
And
Then there
tired. It's
and
very
time.
tiring.
Yes, and there is a disbalance between your work and your personal life, so your family doesn't get enough time from you.
Very
And
good. Excellent points. Now,
yeah,
what about working in the country?
so working in the countryside have lots of advantages and also disadvantages. For the advantages, there is the work and life balance is maintained. You have a lot of time for yourself and your family, and your work is completely separated from your personal life. Then there is access to nature. You can connect to nature and enjoy cleaner environment, and um, you are not open to any polluted area or environment.
So you
Then
stay healthier, right?
yes, yes, you stay healthier. Then for the cost of living in the cities, there is less space for for high money, but here
Um,
you can get more space for less money. So
very good.
that's another point. And for the disadvantages, there are limited job opportunities. Then there is um, And then there
Lower
is,
pay. The pay is not as high as a city.
yes, there is lower pay. Then I can't get any more.
It can also be bad. The conditions can be bad in a bad weather. It's hard to
Yes,
transport in the
yeah.
countrysides in bad weathers. So these could be the advantages. Not more is needed. This is perfect. You got a lot of points, so that's enough. Thank you so much, dear. And for the second question, where would you prefer to work and why?
So in my opinion, I think working in a city will be more good for my future and my career, as there are a lot of networking and job opportunities. So I can focus on my professional growth, and I can also do focus. I can also focus on my career and advancement, and
Very
then
good.
there is a lot of convenience as public transportation, healthcare system, or etc. like that. Then there is a work environment, so I can focus on my work, and I can also develop myself in other fields. Like right now there are freelancers, then web developers like that, so I can improve myself and develop a lot of skills that is necessary for my life. So that's it.
Very good. Very good answer. You can also add whenever when you're saying or when you're stating your opinion, you give your opinion and then you can also talk about the disadvantages that you mentioned earlier. So you can also add, although there are certain disadvantages to working in the city, but you can add that these you can overlook these because of some of these reasons this reason. Okay, so if you
Okay.
add that, that is also a good explanation of the disadvantages that you give. Because if the examiner is reading your paper and that examiner sees that you did give the disadvantage and advantage of working in the city, yet you are saying that you prefer working in the city, then there will be a question in his mind that this girl just said that she doesn't she just showed us that there are disadvantages of working in the city. Then why does she want to stay there and work there? So that is why
Oh,
it's better to
yes.
clarify your opinion, whatever opinion you're giving. It is better to clarify it so that there are no questions. Okay.
Okay.
So well done. Your answer was very good as well. Well done, dear. So now, moving on to how we can plan our answers. So what is written here is planning your answer for writing part two is vital for writing a successful essay. So your writing has to be relevant, that is, answers the question. That means that it has to be relevant to the topic that has been given. It should, if the topic is in a form of a question, that particular question should be answered through whatever you're writing in the essay. Next is your essay should be structured. It should be clearly organized in paragraphs. It should not be messy. It should not be like one sentence in one paragraph and then two sentences in another paragraph and again three sentences in another paragraph. No, it should be structured. You have to put relevant points in the introduction. You have to put relevant points in the main body, and you have to put relevant point in the conclusion. Okay. Lastly, it should be coherent. We have been noticing this word from the last unit, right? Coherent and cohesive. So our essay should be coherent. It should be easy to read for the examiner. It should be cohesive. It should have links with one another, one line and the other. It should sum up the whole topic together. Okay. So these are the essential points that should be there when you are writing a successful essay. And to achieve this, you have to have an effective planning. Just you look at the topic and you just start writing. In that way, it will not give you a very successful essay. Rather, you have to look at the topic and then give some time in your planning, and then you have to start writing. Okay. So let's look at number two. What are they asking us? Is it clear from your side? Whatever
Yes,
I
it's
just
clear.
instructed? Okay,
Yes.
great. So moving on to activity two, let's see what they're asking. They're saying, read these statements. Have you experienced any of these problems? If you don't plan, you can write a lot of information but not always answer the question. Answering the question means writing according to the topic. Second is you can write too much, too little, or run out of ideas halfway through, or you may not provide a clear structure for examiners to follow easily. Do, did you face any of these problems ever when writing an essay?
Yes, because just before this thing, I got a lot of ideas, but as you said that I have to do according to the working, not working in the city, not living in the city. So I was
Right.
confused at middle there. What did I do?
Exactly.
What do I do? So
Exactly. Very good that you at least recognized the problem that you faced just now. That's great. So very good that you did that. And yes, so this actually happens a lot. Whenever, like I said earlier, whenever we get a certain topic in front of us, we read the topic, we read the question. At that particular moment, we have a lot of ideas coming to our heads, right? At that
yeah,
time, what happens? We have a lot of information to write, but it does not answer the question appropriately, like you just said. And then, because of that, because we have a lot of information in our heads, sometimes it happens that when we're writing, we're just taking those ideas from our head and we're writing, but all of a sudden we go blank and we don't
yeah,
know how to continue the essay, right?
yes,
That time
yes,
it's very hard to complete the essay, especially when we are at the end of the main body paragraph. These are actually the um, problems that I used to face when I was in school. It was actually very tough for me. And then what happened was that when I got in class 8 or 9, when I was preparing for my O levels, my English teacher, she gave me a very good trick. She taught us all a very good trick that actually helped me clear all these. So that is what I always try to follow. And I also try to teach my students that way as well. I'm coming to that point after some time. And there is another point. What happens is that you may not provide a clear structure. So because we ourselves get confused while writing because of so much information or too little information that comes to our head. We're not able to actually give a clear structure to the examiner, to the essay. Because why? It's because the ideas that are coming, they're not arranged properly. That what should I write in the beginning, what should be written at the end, and what should actually be focused on in the main body, right? So that is why the structure doesn't go, that is not proper as well. So what we should do, I will come to that point after we see some more activities because or else it will be a bit irrelevant. My instructions will become a bit irrelevant because we have some other discussions to do as well. So look at activity three. We have some questions to be discussed. Suppose for number one, it is how long do you currently spend planning on your essay? So how long do you spend planning on your essay before you
mm,
write?
maybe like 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, well, that's good enough. That's good enough. What about how long do you think you should actually spend on planning? Do you
I
think this is
think
enough, or should you spend lesser time?
I think as my writing is fast, so if I like give my time to more planning, so I can focus on writing, like I can organize it first, then I can write it. So I think 5 to 7 minutes, 8 minutes is enough for my planning.
Very good, yes. And what about what methods do you use to plan? Do you like list them down, or do you just arrange it in your head? How do you do it?
So the page where I'm writing it. So beside it, I just write that advantages, like just for example, advantages this point, disadvantages this point, and
Very
then
good.
when I'm writing, so I'm just seeing the points and I'm just writing sentences, supporting ideas, and
Excellent. Exactly what I wanted to instruct you, and exactly how I also always try to do my essays and plan my essays. That's excellent. Very good. So now that we have planned it, we have done planning the essay, we have to analyze the task. So the task that has been given to us, the topic that has been given to us, we have to analyze it. Okay, before moving on to this, I would now like to give my experience. I would like to share my experience. Like what my teacher taught me was she always used to tell us to take 1 to 2 minutes time just to think, just to have many ideas as possible in the head. And whenever we're done thinking, we just have to write those ideas down, be that 10, 20, 15, how many ever ideas you have in your head, how many ever points you have in your head, just note it down. Note those down randomly, just in points. You write those down, and after you're done bringing all those information from your head on the paper, now you plan where to put which point. For example, if I'm writing about making a cake like yesterday, what would come to my mind? Baking, putting all the ingredients in one place, then mixing dry ingredients, separating wet ingredients, and then bringing up all the utensils in one place, preparing the oven, preparing the mold, everything like that, right? So many points are coming in your head at the moment. So I write whatever is coming to my head in random ways, in random order, and then after I'm done noting all those down, jotting all those down, now I put the points that should go to the introduction. I place the points that should go to the main body part, and then I decide which points should be included in the conclusion. In this way, your whole essay is structured. It it has all the information that should go in each of the paragraphs. So while you are writing, you don't run out of ideas. You don't just sit there and think, what should I write next? What will be appropriate to be written after this? So this doesn't happen. You have a complete plan in front of you about how you will continue the writing and how you will end it till the end, as well as you have a very proper structure of it as well. So everything is included when you are planning it in this way, and it's very easy. Although you do need to invest some time before writing, that could be around maximum of 10 minutes. Especially for IELTS of task 2, you have 40 minutes in total. So if you spend 10 minutes just thinking and planning and structuring the whole essay, you have 30 more minutes in your hand to write. And if you already have a well-planned essay, you have a very nice plan in front of you, you will not take much time to write. Right?
yes.
So that is how you should always, as you already do. I don't have to tell you tell you this much with much pressure. So that's a very good thing that you already are in practice with this particular way of writing. So that is actually good for you. So now that we know how we should plan our answer, now let's move on to how we can analyze the task that has been given to us and how we should pick up the main words and main topic and main idea from where we should actually generate the ideas in our head. Okay, so let's see. The first step in the planning process is to analyze the task. Now that we know how to plan, we will get inside how we get into the topic of planning. So more detailed planning, we'll get into that now. So first, when we're planning, we have to analyze the task that has been given. Spending enough time reading and analyzing the task will ensure that your answer is relevant. If you read the task and the topic very properly and you analyze it, you will make sure that your answer is very relevant and you do not include any irrelevant point in it. So if I am writing about baking a cake and if I write that the price of the eggs has increased, this is not relevant, right? Although I
Yes.
do need eggs as my ingredient, as one of my main ingredients, but the price of the egg is not necessary in this topic. So I do not need to add it. So that in that way, we need to analyze what should be added in the essay and what we should not add. So in order to analyze the task, you must first highlight the topic and the task words. So topic and task are two different things, okay? The word topic, it indicates what needs to be discussed, what we will be discussing in the essay, that is the topic. And what is the task word? Task word indicates what needs to be done. So how should we be writing the topic, or what should the topic that should be discussed will be about? Okay, so I'll clear it out. You can see the example here. The topic and one of the topic and task is given here. Many students these days choose to work abroad after graduating. So this part is the topic. You will be talking about students working abroad after graduating. And what is the task? What do you have to do? You have to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this. So the topic is given and the task is what you should do. So the topic words are student, work abroad, after graduating. So when you pick up some words from the topic, it is easier for you to think in a very clear mind that, okay, we need to talk about students who are still studying, and we need to talk about working abroad, students working abroad, not adults. And when are they working abroad? During or after they are graduating. So that is what we have to talk about. So these are the topic words. And what do we have to do? We have to discuss advantages and disadvantages. So see, we are picking up some keywords to make our thinking easier. So that is what we do. We analyze the task and the topic words. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now let's look into our fourth activity here. We have to look at the sample tasks given here. We have three sample tasks given. These are each are sample tasks. So what we have to do is we have to read through it and we have to underline the topic words and the task words in each of them, just like the example. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So read number one for me, please.
Some people believe that entering the workplace after school is far more beneficial than studying at university. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement?
Okay, and number two.
In order to get a job these days, many people do unpaid internships, work experience. What are the advantages and disadvantages of these internships? 3. Stress caused by work is becoming a major problem worldwide. What are the reasons for this? How could this problem be tackled?
Tackle. Very good. Okay, so find out the task words and topic words from number one.
So the topic words are some people entering the workplace after school, beneficial studying at university.
Quite close. Some people is not necessary. Workplace after school. This is important.
Yeah.
More beneficial. This is important. And university. So we do study at university, right? So studying at university is not necessary. Just yet, university is necessary. So workplace after school, more beneficial, and university.
Yeah.
Understood. So these are the task words or entering the workplace after school. That can also be the topic word that you can choose. So these are the necessary topic words that we need to analyze in order to get the idea. Okay, now what about the task words?
Agree, disagree statement.
Very good. Agree, disagree, not statement. Extent, because
Oh,
they are asking you about the limitation. To which limit or to which extent, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this? So extent is necessary, and then agree and disagree. Well done, you recognized most of the words correctly. Okay, for number two,
um, get a job,
very
unpaid
good.
tips, work experience.
Excellent. Yes. Work experience is not necessary because it is already in a back bracket. So it
Yes.
is showing that this is just for understanding. So yes, get a job and unpaid internships. Very good. What about the task words?
Advantages, disadvantages.
Excellent. Very good. Number three,
Stress caused by work, major problem worldwide.
very good. Stress caused by work or just stress and major problem worldwide. Very good. And what about the task words?
Reasons for this and the how the problem could be tackled.
Very good. Reasons or how to tackle.
Yes.
That could also only be the task words. Very good, dear. Well done. Okay. Now that we've analyzed, we've during the planning, first we analyzed the topic and the task. Now we have to brainstorm. We have to brainstorm our ideas after we are done with analyzing the task. What is brainstorming? Do you know what is brainstorming?
Yes, like thinking of a lot of ideas
Right.
regarding a particular subject, like just
Very
thinking
good.
about anything about
Excellent.
that.
Very good. Excellent. You're very correct. What is written here is brainstorming is a technique which allows you to think about all your ideas in relation to a subject without having to worry about factors such as spelling, grammar, structure, etc. So just thinking about a particular idea uh, disregard of what any other things are coming to our head. That could be spelling, grammar, structure, any mistakes, that doesn't matter. Just the ideas that are coming. That is what is necessary when we're brainstorming, right? So there are several ways of brainstorming. So many people like you and I, we jot it down, right? We note it down in points. But there are other ways of brainstorming as well, like mind map and linear plan. These are two examples that are given here. So what is a mind map? A mind map is a a pie chart type of thing or a map type of thing that has the main topic in the middle. It has the main topic in the middle, and there are links to it that are indicating to the ideas that we just got. Okay, so instead
Mm.
of writing it down one after the other like we do, some people make visual plans or mind maps. These are called visual maps or mind maps. They put the ideas in the middle and then they make branches from those topic and write the ideas that are coming to their heads, right? So let's see the example that is given here. First, let's see the topic. The topic is experts believe that over the next decade, robots will be doing many of the jobs currently done by humans. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages. So from here, what are the topic words?
Um, um, Robots,
Very good.
then jobs
Very good.
currently done by humans.
Very good. Yes. Another one you can include is that over the next decade.
Okay.
Okay. Because they are talking about a period of time. You also have to consider that. So over the next decade, robots, jobs currently done by humans. Very good. So, and task words are easy.
Discuss advantages and disadvantages.
Excellent. Very good. So you got it very clearly. That's great. Now let's look at how they are brainstorming and how they're showing us how to mind map them. So the advantages that are given here. There are four advantages that they mentioned. One is faster or no breaks. So the work that will be done will be done faster, and there will be no break in the middle of the process of work. Then the robots will be able to do the dangerous jobs, and the robots will be able to do the boring jobs that people feel very bored to do. And lastly, it will be cheaper than making humans work with some any job that may be expensive because maybe they have to be paid heavily. Rather, if robots do it, no one gets to get paid, no one gets to pay them, right? They just work there, so the work becomes cheaper. And what are the disadvantages? The disadvantages are in unemployment. The people will suffer unemployment if robots take over, right? Then at that time, robots will only be working and people will be sitting idle. They won't have any jobs then. So there will be unemployment if robots take over. And then robots could break. People don't break. Robots could break. And then
Yes.
it's very dangerous because robots can malfunction anytime. When they malfunction, what will happen, or how they can react, we have no idea. Lastly, the maintenance cost is very high. Cost to maintain will be high. Even if they don't have to pay salaries to the robots, but their maintenance cost will be very expensive. So these are the disadvantages. And when you make mind maps, you have to keep in mind that you have to put the topic that you are thinking of, the main motive that involves all the ideas that has to be in the middle, and all the ideas have to branch out from that topic around it. That is how you can make visual plans or make mind maps. That is one example. Next is linear plans or bullet points, like we do. The thing that we do, those are bullet points, and linear maps. Same thing. So for advantages, we write these are the advantage, and then we jot down the points or the ideas, right? The advantages: faster, no breaks, do dangerous jobs. So these are the way we can note down, or we write down the bullet points under advantages. And for disadvantages, we write the bullet points like unemployment, cost to maintain, could break, very dangerous, like that. Okay. So these are the two ways that are just shown as examples that you can brainstorm and you can note down your ideas in mind maps and linear plans. So looking at the next activity, are you clear about this, dear?
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay, great. So looking at the next activity, they say that look at these tasks and brainstorm ideas for each with a partner. You don't need a partner. Try using both methods to plan your essay and decide which suits you best. I already know which suits you best. Still, I would like to tell you to do number one and number two. Or you can do any of these. Just select one. You can do number one or number two. So number one is the advantage and disadvantage of wearing a uniform to work. And number two is the advantage and disadvantage of working for a big company instead of a small. Okay, so I will tell you to do both in two ways. So you do number one using a mind map, and you do number two using linear plan or bullet points. Okay.
Okay.
You don't need much points, just four for each will do. The four for
Okay.
advantages and four for disadvantages.
Okay.
Tasmia, do one thing because you're writing it down, right? It will be easier for me to look at it and correct it. So you write it down and you, after the class, you click the picture and send it to me on WhatsApp. I'll check it there, okay?
Okay.
So you complete it now, no problem. Done, dear?
Yes. I
Oh,
will take a pic after the class then, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
You take the picture after the class and send it to me then. Okay, so there was a tip here. I did not read it before. So it says, although your ideas need to be relevant, it is important that you concentrate on the quality of your English. So keep this in mind. This is actually very necessary and important that it is important that your ideas should be relevant, but your quality of English, the way you're expressing your ideas, the way you are describing your ideas and stating your point, that should be of good quality. The way you're expressing it, the quality of your English should be good. Good word power and good way of expression, very nice sentence structure, those should be the kept in your head while you're writing. Okay, so don't forget those when you're writing. So now that we know how we can analyze and how we can brainstorm, the last part of planning everything is to sum it all up, sum everything, all the ideas up into a structure. So we all know what a structure should be in essay, right? It's very easy for all the writings. It's more or less the same. In the first paragraph, we have introduction, where we rephrase the question and we paraphrase the question in a way or the topic in a way that shows that we will be talking about this and we will show the advantages or disadvantages of this topic. So that is how we start and how we write the introduction, right? So next, for the second paragraph and the third paragraph, there can be two main bodies. So in the first main body, you write or you discuss the advantages of the topic. After you're done discussing the advantages, you move on to the second main body. That is in all our third paragraph out of the four paragraphs. You write the disadvantages there. And lastly, after you're done discussing the advantages in the second paragraph and disadvantages in the third paragraph, you have the last paragraph that is the conclusion, where you sum up all the things that you talked about. Here, you can include your opinion. You can include your ideas. See, it is also written here. You must use your own words. Make sure you group your ideas together. It is a good idea to state your own opinion here. So in the conclusion, you will give a summed up opinion about the disadvantages and the advantages. You will give a summary of what you just spoke about, and you will most importantly, you will state your ideas in a very proper way so that it gives a very nice conclusion. Like you did, for example, that you did talk about the advantages and disadvantages, but you think that this is rather very good for people. I'm just giving a random statement. For example, if you are talking about working in a city, like
Yeah.
we did before. So, working in a city, the advantages and disadvantages, you mentioned that the advantages are that you get a lot of opportunities and the work is very good. You get very good chances to develop your skills and everything. And then there's the disadvantage that the work pressure is very high. There is a lot of stress and many more, right? So when you are summing it up in the conclusion, you can give an opinion that in my opinion, I think like you said also in that in my opinion, I prefer working in a city because I get this advantages rather than the disadvantages that are also present here. Although there are disadvantages, but the advantages that are present, these overpower the disadvantage, for which it is better to work in the city rather than working in the countryside. So in this way, because I'm saying it in a very random way, it might not sound very summed up and structured, but you get my point, right?
Yes.
You just have to sum up the whole thing and give your opinion as well as for your opinion for both the advantage and the disadvantages. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to say. So that's the structure that you present your ideas in. So when we are planning, we put into action our analysis and then we brainstorm and then we structure our ideas. So these are the three steps of how we can plan an essay. So this is not only for this topic where you're discussing disadvantages and advantages. It is actually the way you should plan your any sort of essay. That could be argumentative, that could be narrative, that could be descriptive, any type, okay? So that is the way you should plan your whole essay. And coming up in our next classes, the other types of essays that we're going to learn for task two, I hope this planning will help you in that also. Okay, so now
Okay.
moving on to our next activity. Use this paragraph planner to structure one of the essays you brainstormed in exercise 6. So for this, I don't think it's that necessary here because we already know how to structure it. So they're saying to use this paragraph planner to structure one of the essays you brainstormed in activity 6. So from these. So you already did it, so I don't want you to. Okay, you can. I'll give you this as a homework because at the moment you already completed it and it might take some time. Okay, before you send me the picture of this mind map and linear map, you complete activity 7, okay? You just write down the ways you can structure any one of number 1 or 2, okay?
Okay.
Use this paragraph planner to structure one of the essays you brainstormed. What you have to do is you have to, the points that you gave here, right? The advantages and disadvantages, you just have to write it down like this. Like for the introduction, what you will write is the topic words or the topic idea that you have. In the main body, you write down the words that you included in the advantages, and in the main body too, you write down the words or the ideas that you included in disadvantage. And in conclusion, just give 1 or 2 sentences that you would like to add in the conclusion. Okay. So there is tip number 7. It is never a good idea to memorize a model answer as you are very unlikely to come across this exactly same question in the exam. Definitely, this is a very bad idea. Well, I think this has decreased now, but before it was very common that the IELTS, whoever was preparing for IELTS, they used to at least once or one or two, they used to memorize a particular pattern they used to memorize so that they used to think that if something related to this or if any topic around the topic that I learned comes, I will just replace the words and I'll write whatever I learned. But actually, this is not the case. Every topic is different and every topic should be written in different way. No topic matches with the other. So it's never a good idea to memorize a model answer, right? Okay, now that we know how to plan, how to structure, how to write down the whole essay, we have to learn the use of linking words. Like I said earlier, and we saw in the beginning, that we will learn how to use linking words to make our essay more cohesive. So once you have planned an essay which is organized well, you need to make sure your ideas are linked together. This will make it easier for your examiner to read and will also improve your exam score. Because if you use linking words, you're writing everything that you're writing that comes together, that shows that there is a link between all the discussions that we're doing, and it seems more presentable and very nice to read. So, in that way, your exam scores will also improve because the examiner will like reading your essay and will definitely give you a good score, right? So here in activity 8, we can see there are some words. There are, I think, 9 words. Yes, not words, words and phrases. So we have to use these in our sample essay that is given down below here. These are all the linking words that we should use in our essays to make it seem very seamless. So what we will be doing is we will see the 9 words. They are also consequently, for example, furthermore, however, whilst, in conclusion, in contrast, and therefore. So these are the linking words given here. We have to select from the box and we have to put these linking words in the sample essay, and we have to find out which blank suits which word appropriately. I mean, which word suits which blank appropriately. According to that, we have to fill in the blanks from here. And what is the tip that is given? You will gain extra marks for using linking words appropriately. Yes, this is actually very important. Whenever you are using a very good placement for your linking word, there will be extra marks given. If you suppose if your mark got cut in one of the paragraphs, suppose in the first paragraph you got -1, and in the second paragraph you used a linking word very nicely and very appropriately, that mark you will gain in the second paragraph just for using an appropriate linking word. So it is one of the most important parts of an essay to use a very good placement, to give a very good placement of linking words. Okay, so pay very good attention to this. So let's start. I'll zoom out so that you can see. I don't think you can see the whole thing together. You have your book in front of you, do you?
Yes, I have it.
Okay, then there's no problem. Then you can see the words from there and you can read the sample essay. So this essay is based on the topic that is given here. Experts believe the robots one. Experts believe that over the next decade, robots will be doing many of the jobs currently done by humans. So discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this. By reading the sample essay, it is an advantage for you that you will get an idea of how a proper essay on advantages and disadvantages can be written, how you can form your sentences, how you can link the sentences with the linking words, and how you should mention each of the advantage and disadvantage in each of the paragraphs, right? As well as you can also look at the conclusion, how they are including their own opinions, how the writer of the sample essay is including his or her own opinion and summing all the information up all together. Okay, so this will be good for you as well. So take some time, you fill in the blanks, and then read the whole thing to me.
Miss, I'm done.
Okay, great. Let's start. Start reading from the very beginning.
In the future, experts predict that robots will be doing many of the tasks currently done by humans. Therefore, there will be many advantages and disadvantages for society. In this essay, I will discuss both the positive and negative aspects of this new development. The biggest advantage robots will bring to the workplace is their ability to work quickly and accurately. Also, they don't need to take breaks or have holidays. This would furthermore mean that having a robot worker would be much more economical than employing a human.
Okay,
Another great
I will stop you here. I will stop
okay.
you here to correct two of the points. Number one will be consequently, because you are talking about both the advantages and disadvantages. That is why you will have to use consequently. There will be many advantages and disadvantages for the society. Consequently means at the same time, right?
Yes,
So number
yes,
one
I
will be,
wrote it, but I just cut it and wrote therefore.
oh no, therefore is actually used after we already stated a point, and in the end, after stating the point, we are giving a clarification. That is when we use therefore. So for number one, it will be consequently. Number two also is correct. You can also use furthermore for number two as well, because furthermore and also is used to add more information. Okay, so number two possible answers are also and furthermore, these two. And for number three, there you will have to use therefore. This would therefore mean that having a robot worker would be much more economical than employing a human. So here see in the first in the third blank statement, you are clarifying that why will having a robot be, not why, that this will actually be more economical than employing a human being. And before that, you already gave a statement that furthermore, they don't need to take breaks and they have a big advantage. So at the end, when you're giving a finishing sentence regarding a statement that you just gave, so that is when we use therefore. Clear now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So now continue from the second paragraph. Oh, sorry, the third paragraph. Another great advantage.
Another great advantage of using robots in the workplace is that they can perform tasks that are thought to be dangerous, for example, working on busy roads or underground. They can also do the jobs humans don't want to do, such as cleaning the house or dealing with rubbish.
Very
In,
good.
con- In contrast, there are also many disadvantages to robots entering the workplace. The
Right.
most significant disadvantage is that many humans would be left unemployed. Furthermore, if a robot was to stop working, this could cause major problems for a company which relied heavily on the technology. A robot which wasn't working properly could also be very dangerous in some cases. The cost of maintaining these robots could also be very expensive. In conclusion, as can be seen from the points made in this essay, there are both advantages and disadvantages to having robots enter the workplace. Whilst there are many advantages to this, a significant negative impact would be the loss of jobs for humans if managed in the right way. Consequently, I feel that overall the advantages would outweigh the disadvantages.
Okay, very good. Well done. All the answers were correct. But the last one, number 10, is not consequently if managed in the right way. However, I feel that overall the advantages would outweigh the disadvantages. Here, see, when
Yes.
we use consequently, we're talking about both the advantage and disadvantage in the same level. But
Okay.
here in the last sentence, we are overpowering advantage over disadvantage, right? So
Yes.
for that, there is a but or there is a however. So that is why we use if managed in the right way. However, I feel that overall the advantages would outweigh the disadvantage. Okay. So
Okay.
when we are giving some ifs or buts in a sentence, or if we want to show or sound like there is something negative about this, that is when we use however. Okay. For example, in the blank number 6, you said in contrast, right? Here also you could use however. In contrast is correct as well as however. Because
Yes.
here see, we are talking about a but, that is a disadvantage. We're talking about some downsides. That is why we are using in contrast, or we can use however. Okay, dear?
Yes.
Well done. Good work. You did well. So now it sums up everything. This sample essay is summing up this whole lesson that we learned from the very beginning. We learned how we can describe the advantages and disadvantages for essays, and then we learned how we can plan a complete essay. That is by firstly analyzing the task, and then by brainstorming the ideas, and lastly, how we should structure the ideas that we got by brainstorming. And lastly, in during the structuring, we have to definitely include proper introduction and main bodies where we include the advantages and the disadvantages. And lastly, we have to conclude giving our opinions and our thoughts into it, right? So
Yes.
this sample essay sums it all up by adding the linking words that should be used in the whole essay to make it even more impressive. The advantages and disadvantages, the points that you will add, the ideas that you will state, those should be impressive, but the linking words makes the whole complete essay better, because for those we can now read and know that this connects to that and this sentence connects to the next point. So in that way, right? So well done. I think you did very well with this activity, the last one, and I hope you have a clear idea. I will know better if you answered these questions to me, whether you have a clear idea about the whole lesson of today or not. So let's see. For number one, how long do you think you should spend planning on your answer?
Now I think I should spend at least 10 minutes planning my answer.
Very good, very good. And what are the methods that you can use to plan your answer?
So I can use visual plans, mind maps, or even the linear, the writing, what's
Linear
that?
plans or bullet lists?
Bullet list, yes.
Yes, very good, very good. And then number three, are you marked on the quality of your ideas or your English?
I'm marked on the quality of my English more
Right.
than the
Mhm.
ideas.
Excellent. You're very correct that the quality of the ideas do not really matter much here, but the English that you're using to express those ideas, that is what actually matters here. That is what the examiners will judge you for. Now, number four, does it matter if not all your essay is relevant to the topic?
Yes, it matters because my all the essays should be relevant to the topic.
Very good. Yes. Number five, is it good idea to memorize a model answer?
No, it's a really bad idea to memorize a model answer.
Right. Very good. Number six, how many words do you need to write?
At least 250 words.
Very good. Last one, is it a good idea to include your own opinion in this type of essay?
Yes, it is a must to do. I have to include my own opinion in this type of essay.
Very good. And what about the task one essays? Do you need to include your ideas in those?
No, it's a no-go zone.
Very good. Excellent. That's great. So this actually proves that you did learn whatever was there in this lesson to be learned. Well done. Hopefully, inshallah, you will now apply all these to the writing part that you're going to do in activity 10. So you have 40 minutes in total for the second part, that is the second task of writing, and you have to use at least 250 words. So the topic that is given here is, in the past, most people used to travel to their place of work. With increased use of computers, the internet and smartphones, more and more people are starting to work from home, like I am doing. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of this development? What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of this? So you should use your own ideas, knowledge, and experience and support your arguments with examples and relevant evidence. This one point, this was missing for this whole lesson. And I also did not mention it earlier, that if necessary, if you do have any ideas that that have examples of them regarding the topic, it's not necessary that all topics that will be given to you, you will have examples of each of the ideas that you have. It's not that. But if you get any relevant example according to the topic that you're discussing, or the advantage or disadvantage that you're talking about, you can add an example in short. Okay, for example, if we're talking about the advantages of working from home, so there are many mothers who do jobs, who used to do jobs, and they had to commute to their workplace, and they did not get time for their kids. But now that they are working from home, so your point is that working from home helps. Helps people to spend more time with their family. So for this,
Exactly.
regarding this, you can use an example that these mothers can now give time to their work as well as their kids. So this is a very short example for this idea that you're using, right? So in
Yes,
this way, what happens? Your essay becomes more interesting because you are relating your idea with the practical world. So in this way, it becomes more impressive. So if you can add these examples as well, but make sure you don't add too many because you have a word limit, and then again, you have to add more ideas rather than examples. Examples, you can add just one or two just to make the to make the essay more, summed up and a bit more exciting. Okay, so
okay.
these are all the lessons and ideas that you can use to make your essay very beautifully structured and well written. So inshallah, very eager to get a very nice essay from you. That is this one on this topic. So I'll wait for the essay, and inshallah we have class in the evening. Okay, I'll
Yes.
stop here. One